David, I'm going to put you through a scenario here. Let's pull a ball over. And you've been doing this since you could walk. You're out playing around the golf, you walk up, and you see a ball sitting there. You got a flag stick that's cut just over a bunker.
Yeah.
You pull out the club and you hit the shot. But there's a lot that happens. So take that time period from the time you've seen this shot and you're sort of breaking it down and stretch it out a little bit and tell me all of the things that you're considering, and then maybe we'll get into the technique a little bit, because there's a lot going on there that you might not even be aware of.
Well, there is, and that's the thing, the advantage the players you see on television in tournament golf have. They've been doing this forever. And so they react. They walk up and simply react to what they see in front of them. But that's from years and years of hitting these shots, thousands upon thousands of balls. Can't be the same thing for the player at home. They have to figure out and actually have a mental process of figuring out what they need to do right now, because all of a sudden we have a lot more intimidating shot than we had earlier. We have to go over a bunker, a little bit of fringe, fairly tight pin of maybe 18, 20 feet. This is just trouble. The tournament player walks up and doesn't even see this right in front of him. It's just, okay, I just pitch it up there, the ball's gonna stop within 4 or 5 feet, and off we go, I make my par. You know, the little pitch shots around the green, you might be a little more towards the back of your stance here, okay? It might move kind of more into the middle or up, okay? We're on a little bit of an upslope, so what does that mean? We have some added loft already. So you don't have to get fancy, just kind of square it up. If you want to toe it open just slightly, no problem with that. But then make sure you have a good kind of smooth acceleration. And certainly a lot of this comes from practice and hitting the shots.
And the practice swings are really important in a situation like this.
Well, it is, because you know what? That helps you understand what the turf feels like underneath the ball as much as anything, and it gives you a good gauge of kind of how hard you need to hit this shot. But I'm still have the same kind of thought process and fundamentals. I still want to get the leading edge underneath that golf ball, because that removes any type of bellying of the golf ball. And then I'm going to use the back of the golf club to bounce. So it takes the practice of, okay, now we're getting the feel of the height, the feel of the hit.
Let's change scenarios now. They got up high and soft, had some spin on it. We got a flag on the other side of the green. I'm going to assume you're going to grab a different wedge out of the bag, or am I wrong?
No, that's a good point, because you know what? The shot becomes harder now if I keep this club in my hands, because I'm going to have to fly it most of the distance to the hole. So certainly in a situation where I have a good 40 feet to the next hole where the ball can run out, I am quickly going to put that club back in the bag.
That's 58 going in the bag, 53 is coming out.
So now I can, in essence, hit a pitch shot. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about flying it most of the distance to the hole. I can just grab the club and hit more of a pitch shot and get it running. From here now, we're going to hit it probably close to the distance to the first hole and just let it go. Let it run out to the next hole.
Yeah, very different action, as we get a good result there. I noticed that in the release, there's a little bit different release action with the shorter one versus the longer one. The back of the left hand, are you trying to roll it a little bit more, release it a little bit more, cup it a little bit less? What's going on with that actual action in your chipping motion?
Well, if anything, on the more of the pitch motion, I'm still going to release, as I've talked about, but I'm going to want maybe to happen a touch later. Okay, so it keeps the loft more natural. I'm not adding any type of loft. So I'm going to try to, where I'm hitting it up in the air, I could even hit to this first hole here and release it from behind a little bit like that, and it's going to pop up in the air.
Even with the 53?
That's the 53.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I want to release it maybe a little bit, so my hands might be a touch forward.
A little more shaft lean.
To get it popping and running out, but I'm still going to get it pitched and releasing that way. A lot of what I talk about with release, though, is also you have to get it kind of squared up into the back of the ball. If I'm hitting a flop shot, certainly you're going to see a lot more of a flip, where you see some of these massive high soft flops players hit in tournament golf. On the pitches, it's more of a popping almost in there, but there is a bit of a release.